patient. It's gonna be a long night.
Welcome to round 16 of Eat the Buckle, the horror movie battle royale podcast that puts two movies in a weekly head-to-head matchup where the loser will remain in the ring another week, and we will be forced to watch it repeatedly until there is one movie standing in an effort to determine the worst horror movie ever made. This week, in the fourth matchup of our special Christmas season show ho ho down, we have, once again, 1997's Jack Frost versus 1980's To All a Good Night. With me, as always, are my two co-hosts who always replace the food when they steal it from the fridge, Josh and Aaron. How are you, fellas?
Great, we're just enjoying the warm glow of the post-Christmas evening, and
Yep.
had a great holiday. So lot to be happy with. I'm sipping in a whiskey. It's
Nice.
something. So
Nice and cozy.
nice, cozy, warm, and I'm just ready to dig in and talk about these features films with you, gentlemen.
I am through with Christmas after my back-to-back viewing today, post-Christmas.
I can't believe you watched them both.
Yeah, back-to-back's tough.
Well, you'll hear it in my voice many times throughout this episode how much hatred I have for this podcast and these two movies.
You're a broken man.
Yeah, I am Dan Haggerty-less this week. That's one problem. Full disclosure, I miss him. I miss the screen exploding with the exuberance of a man just trying to make ends meet.
It's not like he gave an electric performance in that movie. He was
in his own way,
sleepwalking
in his own way, he did.
It was a performance worthy of a Bill Murray performance in a Wes Anderson film.
I mean,
he really went less is more.
The other thing is, of course, like we're recording right after Christmas, and like every Christmas Eve and Christmas night, we watch good movies.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, that's relative, but Christmas Eve in our house is always Scrooged and Bad Santa, and then if we can stay up, which it's not happening anymore, it's Gremlins at the end. But now, Gremlins did get in on Christmas night, but after those three, like, okay, let's really enjoy Christmas in our own way. To be woken up today on the 26th and say, all right, it's time for week 4 of Jack Frost. And this little nugget that can't, To All a Good Night.
Yep. 'Tis the cross we bear.
Did either of you watch Die Hard on Christmas?
I watched it Saturday night.
I own it in 4K, and I have yet to take it out of the plastic.
Oh,
I think it's a fantastic film. I just don't think it's a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
It's arguable.
Even Bruce Willis says it's not a Christmas movie. Have you seen that video of him?
No.
It's pretty funny. It's like, I believe it's late stage in his illness, so he's not at his best, but he's kind of like hunched over and he's looking at the camera and he's like, Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. And then he like pauses and he goes, it's a Bruce Willis movie.
True. Poor Bruce.
It's pretty good.
I think it's a Christmas movie, but it's not the podcast to get into it.
Yes, it's not Is This a Christmas Movie, the podcast. I'm sure there's 6 of those at least out there. Because no one's ever had a What's a Bad Horror Movie podcast.
Yeah. What's worse to you guys? Like, because it's always sad to me watching like a Halloween centric movie the day after Halloween. Or do you think it's worse with like a Christmas movie?
No, I'll watch Christmas
how long can you extend
into January?
Really?
I mean, usually I don't go past New Year's. That's kind of the cutoff for me. But I still like this whole time between Christmas Day and New Year's is still the Christmas season to me.
Yeah.
See, to me, it's as soon as I wake up on the 26th, Christmas is in the rear view mirror. And it's
Well,
like having to watch these. I guess Jack Frost is more just a winter movie.
Jack Frost is
so that makes sense to keep going with it. But like,
Uh,
whatever the next Christmas one, the final Christmas one we do, it's gonna make me sad. I'm not
well,
gonna enjoy it as much.
this is the first year that I feel like we're Greek Orthodox and we're going to go mid-January before the end of the Christmas season.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how long it goes. But yeah, well, I hope you all had wonderful Christmases.
you as well.
And I did. It was nice, very relaxing. And now
We had a
we're
wonderful office Christmas party.
yeah, we did have a nice office Christmas party for all
I-
to hear.
I feel like it is still might be going on this evening.
I'm in a hollier jollier mood. than
Oh
I
yeah,
was.
you sound great. Now it's me that's going to be Scrooged.
I was so fucking tired when we recorded that last one. I couldn't deal, but I am ready and I am excited to talk about these two movies. Should we get into them?
Sure.
All right. Well, the first one up is the from 1980, To All a Goodnight. This was written by Alex Rebar, directed by David Hess, starring Jennifer Runyon, Forrest Swanson, Linda Gentile, William Lauer, Judith Bridges, and Kiva Lawrence. It was released January 30th, 1980, with a limited theatrical release. I did not get a box office for it, but it had a budget of $75,000.
Wow.
And it shows.
Yeah, and it's all just splashed on the screen.
Yeah.
they put it on the screen.
I saw that this was recorded. The entire production was over 10 days in November of 1979. So between late November 1979 and January 30th, what is that? Like 2 months? That this thing was in theaters.
Did you see that thing about where the one guy that worked on the FX was like yeah, it was never out before Friday the 13th. Like the guy was like, we all remember sitting on the set at the mansion watching the TV when John Lennon died in December 1980.
Yeah.
So like already the internet has fallen apart because something as simple as when did To All a Good Night really come out is now up for grabs.
Well, we'll get into that. So this movie, 2 years after a prank goes awry and results in the death of a housemate, the girls that were involved are stalked and killed by a sadistic man in a Santa suit during the Christmas holiday. Did it beat Friday the 13th to the twist ending? Yep. Will it eat the buckle? Maybe. Let's get into it off the top rope. What did you guys think about To All a Good Night?
Why don't you start us off, AJ?
Let me tell you what I thought of this movie.
Uh-huh.
Friends, if I could sleep for an hour and 28 minutes, it would have been better and more action-packed than this garbage I had to watch for a podcast this week.
Wow.
After all the highs of the Dan Haggerty's vehicle Elves, where everything that I look for in a shitty movie was given to me on a silver platter, this movie left me like the prom queen at prom night. There was nothing enjoyable. It was ugly to look at. There was a porn star as a pilot. There was Roger Corman's niece-in-law that I felt so bad that she was in this movie because all she wanted was milk and maybe a future SAG card. That was the only thing that I got out of this movie.
Wait, who is his?
Jennifer Runyon. You might know her as
Gwendolyn
Is It a Star?
Pierce.
Is It a Star?
I know her as Gwendolyn Pierce from Charles in Charge. Thank you.
Yeah, that's That's how I know her more than, well, yeah, I mean, I guess Ghostbusters, but
Charles in Charge was on ABC, right?
I
I
can't
can't remember.
remember. I think I watched it syndicated on Fox.
Oh, well, even more so. I didn't have that channel growing up.
That's
I
right.
always thought that in my kid brain, looking back on it, I always thought Gwendolyn Pierce was like a mainstay on Charles in Charge. And then I looked it up and she was only in like 15 episodes through the entire run.
Oh, I think she was a mainstay, but that's just how often they gave her a
No,
part.
that's what, yeah, I thought she was like every episode,
Oh
or
no,
like
I
the
don't. I
main,
don't
like,
think Charles dated anybody else though. Once he started dating Gwendolyn.
yeah, I was sad when I saw that. It's like, oh, she went on to bigger and better things and Charles in Charge, but
I mean,
maybe
there
not.
were only how many episodes? Well, I see Scott Baio was in 126.
Yeah, it went on for a while.
Well, good for him.
What's he doing these days?
Oh,
Oh, I'm sure nothing that would upset the three of us.
I think that you are unfairly judging this movie because
No, my
your
wife can attest.
perceived love for Dan Haggerty.
I literally slammed my fist
Why?
on my desk because I was so enraged at this movie today.
This movie to me wasn't even like mid level of what we've been through. I had fun with it.
There was
I
this.
I enjoyed it quite a bit.
This is generic as can be. Like,
I mean, for 1980,
no,
like this was
no, there's no
before, as
caveats that exist.
I
to-
think it.
I think. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You're still.
How many times have we sat here on this show and been like 40 minutes into the movie, we finally get a first kill? This thing got in within the first 10 minutes. You had like 3 or 4 dead bodies.
The first
had a
good
Santa
kill. The
going-
first good kill is when Deep Throat gets it by the propeller.
That was awesome.
That was a great kill.
That is the only redeeming thing when Harry Reams looks up and sees that stupid Santa Claus mask turn over the engine once he gets the generator going.
You actually
This-
get a kill in the first 30 seconds.
Yeah. A really strange opening.
Very. So I love
A
how
lot coming at you.
they're just running through sorority house and they're screaming sorority, sorority.
Yeah. I did make a note where I was like at the half hour mark, I was like, I know there's already been 3 or 4 deaths. I was like, but this is so boring and I just wanted to stop.
Oh, I didn't think it was boring at all. You had boobs, you had deaths, you had everything
Boobs, he
that
says.
slasher movies became, and it was 1980.
Yeah,
This predated
I
Friday
had
the
a good
13th.
time with it. I put this on a mantle. I think it belongs maybe just the shelf below a Madman.
This is,
Definitely a great, just yes, low budget, B hard, cheesy slasher film. But I thought it was a lot of fun.
That Santa took the time to bury the bodies.
yeah. I
At least he was thoughtful. They were thoughtful not to give away the twist.
I almost turned it off within the first minute because that fucking music, that score in the first 30 seconds, it was so much going on in this movie.
By the end of my notes, I have a giant 84-point font where I write with this stylus that a vibrous slap is not a scary noise for a horror movie.
No, the score and the sound effects are definitely to be desired. But
The score grew on me by the midpoint. I was loving it.
The score grew on him, he says.
Yeah,
I enjoyed. So at the beginning, as Jared described, they're playing some sort of game. It's a flashback. They're playing some kind of game during Christmas where they're chasing a girl through the house, trying to scare her.
so wild.
She runs out onto a balcony and falls over the side. And I love how like as she's falling, they cut to the scene of like the fakest dummy you've ever seen.
Yeah.
But the shot must have been so bad that they cut away from it before the dummy even hits the ground. So all you see is like a split second of dummy almost hitting ground, and then
Yeah.
it just cuts back to the reactions. So it's like, well, we spent the money on the dummy, so we got to put something in there.
I mean, 70 grand, they probably borrowed a CPR doll and dropped it off the roof twice. Once as the girl, whoever it was, I can't remember that name, and then dressed up as Santa Claus for the end.
I'm shocked that you didn't like well, I just have him as Southern Bill Walton that walks around the
Oh,
sorority house with his gardening shears at all hours of the day and night, seemingly.
what was that guy? Ralph
Ralph,
Kramer.
Yeah. I'm shocked that he was
Is
such
that a honeymooners joke?
Oh, I'm not familiar with honeymooners. Is that a character?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
I do have a note that I was like, I really am done with this movie now that he magically popped up out of the blue in the woods with a bloody face.
I'll just let him trim your plants.
He also had crotchless work pants. Did you notice that?
Yes. I took a picture because I rewound it. Erica and I rewound it like 15 times. Like, does he have a red rocket? Like, what is happening with his pants?
He's a special character. He's definitely.
I told Eric, I was like, Aaron's gonna love this character. I'm shocked you found no joy in him.
I mean,
I certainly loved him.
Like I said, Jennifer Runyon was the only one that I had a real emotion, which was just get your glass of milk and get the fuck off the set, go somewhere else, do something else. This isn't what you need to be in.
There's not really much going on in this movie. It's pretty
Can you explain what was going on at the beginning like I had to for Elves for You? This was it like an X-Men school with only 5 people attending, or did everybody else go away for Christmas?
Yeah, it was like a Black
Trollops
Christmas.
Stayed.
It was like a Black Christmas thing. It was the Christmas break, and they were the ones that stayed back with the house mom.
And I actually have that noted. Was that ever a thing? Because I know when we went to college, like they closed down sororities, fraternities. Like you couldn't stay in them during the holidays.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at least I'm pretty sure that's how
That's
it
right.
was.
I can't.
It might have been because of all the movies from the 80s and late 70s that we were like, oh shit, we better not stay.
I might have a Sandy Duncan dough on my hands. I'll have to reach
Yeah.
out to people that are more familiar, but I could swear that I remember people I knew that were in fraternities and sororities having to go home because they kind of shut down the doors.
But what if they couldn't get there or had nowhere to go?
Well, it's just like if you live in a dorm, they're like tough shit. We're locking up.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, if you're an international student, no. But like I also too, like it seemed like it was a private school, so maybe it was different than a public land grant institution.
That's true. It is a finishing school.
An all girls finishing school.
All girls finishing school.
Was that chick what's her name?
The saucy
Trisha.
British broad?
Was Trisha really British?
I couldn't tell.
I couldn't tell, but she did love to show her boobs.
Yeah. She kept a pretty consistent accent. I didn't notice it going in and out, so I would say yes, because I don't think she would be the caliber of actress to carry that through the whole movie without losing it.
They told her to watch Margot Kidder's performance in Black Christmas, and she did, and then she took it to an 11.
Because I love when you go to search people, like on IMDb, it is literally not even a photo of her. It is a photo of one of the red cars that the parents had that looks like a Dusseldorf or some shit. And she's only known and only been in To All a Goodnight and Portrait of a Showgirl.
Damn.
So now I am at least on record as saying I love TV movies. I'm going to have to track down Portrait of a Showgirl and see if Angela Bath has an accent, I guess.
Do you guys think that Mrs. Calvin, the house mom, is one of the more capable cooks we've seen so far at Eat the Buckle?
Oh, yes. She seemed like she had more than chocolate pudding. She wasn't an alcoholic.
Nope.
And yeah.
I'm trying to think of what she served. She served like a full meal, right?
Yeah,
Like
she
an
was
actual
serving
Christmas
everybody.
dinner.
She was even having a cranberry pie.
She
Oh,
served the
wow.
cops when they
Ew,
were there
cranberry
at
pie would be
stakeout.
disgusting.
She
Who the
was
hell
happy
would
to
want that?
serve the young men who weren't supposed to be at the finishing school that showed up anyway, and then it was no big deal that they were there.
When they get out of the airplane and someone, I forget who, says the line, "God bless airplanes."
Yeah.
It's such a weird like turn to camera.
Remember in the 70s when you could just land a plane in an empty field just because you felt like it?
If you have a porn star as your pilot, you can do whatever the fuck you want with an airplane.
Which I get, it's supposed to be a hoity-toity, I think is the term they used, finishing school. So maybe there is a lightly paved or upkept grass field at
probably.
Xavier's School for Finishing Broads.
The girl Judith Bridges, who played what's her name?
Leah.
Yeah, she was really playing for the people in the back seats. With
What
that
are-
performance.
That character upset me because, again, you established that she wants to hook up. What was this asshole's name? TJ?
Yeah.
The guy that looks like Robert Zerdar's little brother with the giant chin.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean Bryce Campbell?
Yeah. Bryce Campbell.
I hated her and I hated him throughout the movie.
She says to Nancy, I am only with him because of the money and the sex is okay. So why does she get in with a background actor from Goodfellas?
Who was that guy? Where did he come from?
He was one of the quote unquote detectives, which again, why were there three which we find out at the end why there were three random detectives, because number one, $70,000, we couldn't rent any cop uniforms. But then number two, it was in service of the shitty, stupid twist on a twist at the end of the movie.
And those and not only they didn't even refer to themselves as detectives, they referred to themselves as police officers.
Yeah.
But they're all wearing leisure suits. And acting more like low-level mafia goons than police officers. It was very bizarre.
Yeah.
Real bizarre.
And the main cop was Sal from the Frogger episode of Seinfeld. If you remember that one where George has to save his high score.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Sal's Pizza was the chief of police. I believe they do call him chief at one point.
As soon as he came in, as soon as he was introduced and started talking, I was like, "Oh, he's the killer." There's no way they would give this character that much, room to be as broad as he was being, unless he was going to come back into it in some shape or form.
Yeah. So do you think the killer is wearing Lee jeans, Jordache, or Wrangler?
I don't think they are wearing any jeans at all in the
No, yeah. When it first shows the killer, they're definitely wearing some ball splitting jeans.
Oh,
I was hoping you guys could weigh in on which brand you thought.
I'm going to go ahead and spoil this shit, where it's a husband and wife team, because apparently the girl, which you cold open, throw her over the side of the building, over the edge of the railing, was their daughter. So it actually solved a couple of my notes, because one of the okay kills, not a good kill, is where a person is hidden for hours in a suit of armor
Uh-huh.
and shoots them with a crossbow.
Uh-huh. And
Do you
didn't-
understand how hard it
didn't
is to
like
get
that?
into a suit of armor?
As soon as I saw that suit of armor, I thought to myself, if that doesn't come into play in somebody's murder, I'm going to be so pissed.
Oh,
And it was so satisfying when it happened. I laughed and laughed.
I finally had to go and edit my note because, like, all right, who helped them get in that suit? And then it got changed to how long before anyone decided to start making out were they like, this is prime makeout station, like this room here. So at least 2 of them will be in here and you'll be able to shoot them, but don't make any noise in this 115-pound body armor.
Yeah. And again,
made of
something that Friday the 13th stole. Well, maybe from this movie, the arrow through the mouth of the kids making out.
Well, Bacon got the arrow through the neck. This dude gets it straight up through the back of his skull.
Yeah. And also, so 2 Friday the 13th movies ripped their ending off of this.
Yeah.
Because I think Friday the 13th 5 is the one where there's no Jason, and it ends up being the killer dressing up as Jason because somebody at the mental hospital or the whatever halfway house for wayward kids or whatever, their his son dies and he comes back and kills him. So it's essentially the same as this. So 2 Friday the 13th movies have ripped off this movie.
I actually had to note that not only was it predated Friday the 13th, but I thought it also predates Scream, which was the 2 killer thing. Because one of the notes I had was like, why does the killer keep going back and forth between a suit of armor and a Santa Claus costume? And then I had to go back and scratch that note out because one of them was in a Santa Claus outfit and the other
yeah,
suit of armor.
Which again, they're older people, which probably means they're 42 when in filming, but it was the 70s, so they look like they're in their 60s. They were very spry and had a lot of stamina to be killing because they were both in Santa suits at one point. So I really wanted to know which one jumped up with the garrote line, Madman style, and the crux of a tree, and popped that guy's neck and head loose. Who was in the 120 pounds of plate armor? There was a lot of, all right, well, they really had a year or so to plan for this. So they really hit the gym and they set a lot of traps and just waited a year to celebrate their daughter's death.
Well, I mean, who knows what the death of a loved one will drive you to do.
Yeah, if you blame these kids for her death and they're just running around scot-free, all, willy-nilly and hunky-dory, I'd think that'd piss you off, especially if you were the house mom and you had to see it every day.
There was a scene in this that did bring in some rage when I was watching it because it brought me back to college memories, and that's the scene where once the party boys get there and then the fun and games begin. There's a scene where they're all sitting around the living room, and one of those assholes has a guitar. And it reminded me, do you remember college parties? Because I actually do remember these, where there's always one dumb shit that has to pull out his guitar and start singing to impress all the women there.
Yep.
That was always like that shit always made me see red, and I don't know why.
Well, let's take a break real quick, and I'll go grab my guitar off the wall.
That's our duty to take care of the plants.
Yeah.
God put them here to give us pleasure.
Yeah.
All right, so I remember in college, there was a guy who lived across from us once I had moved out of the house with Aaron and friends. every time a party was thrown, anytime there were girls around, this guy would show up, and he was just so annoying. He'd come through the door with a fucking acoustic guitar in his hands and his big shiny red face, just smiling.
Yep.
And he would bust into that song Beer Run, that BEERUN Beer Run.
I have never heard that
song
in my life.
Well, it's a song, but he would tell people that he wrote it. He would tell the girls that he wrote this song, which is not true. And I can't tell you how many times I had to hear him play that fucking song at a party while all the girls stood around giggling and laughing because they thought he was so clever.
Mm-hmm.
You're still enraged.
Yeah.
The weekly things that come up that you still didn't rage you.
Listen, young dudes, if you're going to show up at a party with an acoustic guitar, you better make sure A, you have some fucking talent, and B, you play a song that's worth playing. Let's move on.
That song is...
So email bucklepod@gmail.com to run it by Josh before you go out Thursday night through Tuesday night.
Or better yet, why don't you show up at an open mic instead of somebody else's party?
I feel like that was the carrot top way of picking up chicks. Like you couldn't just like be a comedian. Like you needed a prop to literally prop you up.
Oh yeah. Plus, the whole thing was girls love a musician or a guy that can play guitar. So here he comes strumming the 3 chords of that song. Ugh.
Speaking of hookups, I know this movie was filmed.
Hold on.
What?
I just said Beer Run, written by Todd Snyder, 2001. Okay.
The director of Superman and the rest of those shitty movies.
Released the Snyder cut of Beer Run.
The 4-hour cut. I apologize for getting off track.
All right.
So, all right.
So to get back to the movie.
I feel better though.
Yeah. I know this was filmed in the 70s before HIV/AIDS. Why does Leah just randomly hook up with a dude that looks like he peaked in high school and manages a Blimpies?
Because
Bryce
Campbell you're referring
to? No. Bruce Campbell or Faux Campbell is supposedly a multi-millionaire with a giant trust fund, and she throws it all away to hook up with this dude that is a leisure suit detective.
They all seem
maybe a store detective from Sears or Montgomery Ward's.
Pretty free swinging, not really, attached. Because even the one gal, or the kind of nerdy guy that was, I guess he was a virgin, ends up hooking up with 2 different girls, and they seemed cool with it.
Oh yeah, like the one girl. Let's see, who actually broke him in. Was that Melody?
Yeah, because
all right. So yeah, Melody breaks him in. Then he tries to hook up with Nancy after that.
You mean Melanie basically rapes him? Because he's definitely not into her.
Yeah.
Oh, he ends up getting into her.
Yeah. And then I'm glad you brought up the nerdy guy, because him and Nancy get to inspire Ty West to make House of the Devil, where they go upstairs to investigate that house and nothing fucking happens. And the pace and the stakes are just as high in House of the Devil as they were in this movie.
I don't know about that.
I think you do. That's why you have nothing to say about it.
I didn't think this was slowly paced at all. I thought
I didn't have time to be. It was only an hour and 20 minutes.
I thought it was fucking pretty
pedal to the metal. Could have spent a little more time on some things.
There was a sign on the fridge that said, "If you're going to steal food, at least have the decency to replace it."
I love that sign.
Who in that house do you think was stealing food?
Oh man,
I don't think Nancy, because she was too mousy to do anything in that house.
Yeah, it was probably the saucy Brit lady.
They're
yeah.
probably all blaming each other, but I could tell you who I think it was.
Actually, I bet the saucy Brit was the one who made the sign because she would be the one to.
I think Mrs. Ranzoni was coming in there in the middle of the night.
Ranzoni.
I can't believe neither of you brought up Mrs. Ranzoni.
Wait,
I kind of forgot about Mrs. Ranzoni.
Who's
I'm
Mrs.
picturing it now. But...
It's like the older Italian lady that just shows up to be a miserable bitch for 5
What was
minutes.
the point of her? She just came to complain.
She was just probably the director's mom or something.
I think it was supposed to be a red herring that she was like the nasty older lady that hated the college girls, and so maybe she was the killer. It wasn't executed very well, but I can only imagine that's why she even existed in this movie.
Is that why Harry Reams camped out under the plane for 2 nights too? Like to be another red herring? Like
yeah.
He had nothing to do, and people were like, "Let's go get him so he can be safe." And the guy TJ's like, "No,
he's so fucking mean to him." The girls when they first get there, they're like, "We got room for you." The guy's like, "You stay with the plane."
Yeah,
and he's just sleeping on the ground,
sleeping underneath, sleeping back.
When you said earlier that you like
the
music,
you just sleep in the plane.
It might be a superstitious thing. When you said earlier that you liked the music, did you like the music when it sounded like it was from A-Team or Knight Rider or Riptide? Because that's what this music reminded me of.
Well, we'll play the tape back. I think I said it grew on me. I don't know if I ever liked it. It went from me having like almost an aneurysm by the amount of noises and sounds going on in the music to me being like, oh, this is funny.
Besides that vibra slap, it sounded like the Incredible Hulk was going to come out.
Yeah, for Rigno.
Yeah, well, no, who played Bruce Banner? Oh wow,
that guy,
Ronzino.
I did like how Gwendolyn Pierce had a real good time sipping milk while watching her friends fornicate through the window. That was interesting.
Yeah. The milk.
Such a bizarre.
80s were a big time for milk.
I mean, she was 19 going on 20 filming this, and she is the youngest looking actor I've ever seen in a movie that was of age, that wasn't in some weird Roman Polanski movie or what's her face from Black Christmas. Like she looked the actual age that she was supposed to be, unlike everybody else.
Yeah.
Speaking of Polanski, did you notice that the main cop, his name is Officer Polanski?
Yes.
I didn't notice that.
Bill Bixby, by the way, R.I.P.
Bill Bixby.
That was it. I also have a note I wanted to make sure. So these kids are supposed to be wealthy, we're assuming, since they're at a private school. They're drinking Pabst Blue Ribbon.
They listen to Dennis Hopper.
That was a time when there wasn't. I mean, there wasn't a lot.
Tell
of
me
choices.
they can't afford some Budweiser.
Pabst was. I think was Pabst considered good back then, though. Like a decent beer.
I couldn't tell you. I liked the one Schlitz sign that wasn't lit up. At least I never saw it lit up.
I didn't notice that either.
Yeah.
When they discover Ralph dead, and then they realize that there's a killer, at least in the area, and at the same time their friends have been missing and can't be found, and no one is listening to the girl who's like, they're dead. Everyone's like, no.
Leah gets really
not even
considering
it as a possibility.
Not just not considering it. Leah gets like pissed that she would even.
How dare you?
And to Leah, I think my last note is, what the fuck is happening at the end of the movie where she's just like.
I assume we all had that note.
No, I just assumed that she had enough. She was 100% fed up.
She lost her mind and just decided to start dancing around.
But why did they let her live? Because the last you see of her before she goes crazy, she's getting what appears to be attacked by one of the killers, and then there's a cutaway.
That's what I thought. First, she was dead. First, I thought she was dead. So then, like, when she's dancing around at the end, I was like, who is that person? And then I realized it was her, and I was like, is she in on it with them?
Yeah, so if you haven't seen the movie, the annoying character Leah,
Who sleeps around like a trollop.
she's a trollop and she's a nasty lady. She
She's
gets what
a
appears to be,
Shakespearean actor.
she's a lot to handle. But it appears that she gets attacked by one of the killers in like a POV shot of them attacking her in a bathroom. And then she reappears moments later with like clown makeup on her face, looking like Lady Gaga in the Joker sequel, and she's just like singing and spinning around circles and dancing, and she does that for the rest of the movie.
For
And
like
I don't
the last
understand
5
like
minutes.
A, why they let her live, and B, like why she just turned into like a deadite from Evil Dead 2.
I was gonna say she looks like when Linda comes back as a deadite. It's like her makeup's all. But like, I wonder if something got cut for time or for.
Oh yeah, for
maybe
time.
they just didn't have, on a 10-day shoot. Maybe they're just like, we don't, I think there may have been some twist where she was in on it or something. Because
like she was a daughter or something.
Yeah, or
maybe she didn't get the part in Death Game, so she was like, I had this all worked up where I would just dance around real crazy style and then smash someone's head into a fish tank coffee table.
Maybe they just couldn't get her off the set. none of that was supposed to happen.
I thought about that too. She just wouldn't leave.
Yeah.
I hate to say it. I didn't have one last week, but I have a theory hardcore this week.
Well, I love it.
Okay. Since we're winding down. You said the director David Hess.
Yeah.
But did you note that he was Krug Stillo from Last House on the Left?
I did not.
Okay. So, that's a pretty fair to say rapey, terrible movie.
Sure.
Yeah.
From
I like
memories.
it, but it is rapey. Yes.
Yeah. And then you had TJ, who was real handsy as Bryce Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like maybe David Hess had let's say a nipple bounty out amongst the male cast to try to get Melody's shirt to show a nipple? Because she puts on this white shirt and she decided to like, I'm not going to do any nudity in this movie. But then you watch in every scene after she puts this white, like tie up shirt, that everyone paws at her shirt trying to get a nip slip.
I didn't notice that.
I think that David Hess had a nipple bounty on the set of this movie.
Oh, wow. Nipplegate.
And I hate to talk bad about someone who's dead and can't defend it, but you go back and it seems like the evidence is very clear.
Well, from the first shot of her, she's got like cleavage just hanging out the side of the shirt she has on. So, yeah, I mean, I think they were clearly like, if you're not going to do topless, you are going to show the absolute maximum amount of breasts that you will allow, or we'll get another girl or something like that. Because
and again, that shirt she has on, the shirt that she's got that's tied up is see-through. So like, what more do you want?
Yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting theory.
But again, that is allegedly, subjectively, not
conjecture.
But I did appreciate her step-ins, though. I thought she looked real good in some step-ins.
I liked the characters. I thought they were fun. I mean, they weren't great actors, but like I had fun with this group. I
did too, except for I did not like Leah or Bryce.
Oh, she was. I mean, she was fun to watch.
But I think
giving it 1,000%.
I think there was a problem with the actors and not the characters themselves. But
I enjoyed it.
I do have one more quick production note, and then I'm done with my notes.
Go ahead.
I'm so excited because when I was doing my research, the writer Alex Rebar is in one of the movies that we have yet to watch that is in our watch list
Oh no.
As an actor?
as an actor.
Oh.
So we had
Okay.
David Hess as Krug directing. This is the
Yeah.
only movie he ever directed.
Yeah, I did see that.
Alex Rebar is the eponymous Incredible Melting Man. Which
What?
Yes, I have a movie. I hate to spoil it. That is on the list that I'm waiting. I own it. I'll have to pass it around because it is one of my
I thought
favorite
that
shitty
was-
movies.
It'll be
I
like
thought that was Jack Frost was the incredible eponymous melting man.
Oh no,
Uh,
it's as bad as this movie. So, but I like it.
I
that's
I
on
agree
me.
with Jared, I had a good time with this movie. I enjoyed what it was. I wish my complaints about it are very slim. Again, it's another Christmas movie that really could not felt any less like Christmas. Assuming they filmed it in California, as there was like palm trees and no snow.
yeah.
But it was really weird because whenever they show inside the house, it looks like the windows were like fogged over and there was snow on like the side of the panes. But then they go outside, and it looks like it's a blazing 90-degree heat.
Oh, maybe they soap washed them for
Yeah,
ambiance.
Maybe they live in Snowminton.
Downwind of the nuclear plant.
I'm trying to see if I have any. I think that pretty much does it for my notes. We've covered everything.
Yeah, I got nothing to say till the.
I would like to land in actually with a quote from Ralph. I'm a man of the land. Y'all don't think I know much, but I know when something is wrong.
And that's why I thought Aaron would love him. He's like, we got some Dippy.
No,
Like if Dippy would have had a chance to just be
no, it was try hard.
try hard.
Oh, he wasn't trying hard at anything, my friend.
This is the movie I have pulled the least amount of quotes from. So I hope it doesn't go another week because I only have 2 or 3.
Well, let's find out. But first, you guys want
Yes.
to play a game?
Absolutely.
This game is called Toe Tag Lines.
Oh no.
Toe Tag Lines.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna read you actual taglines taken from the posters of Christmas horror movies. There's one. There's 10. 5 of them are the ones we've done so far, and then 5 of them we haven't, but definitely ones you've seen or heard of. I'll start with the ones we've covered, or I can just mix them in. How do you guys want to do it?
Just mix them in, they're fine.
Yeah, however you want it.
All
Run
right.
Your production.
Buzz in with your names
All right.
to get it right.
So you say the tagline, we give you the movie.
Yep. The toe tagline.
The toe tagline.
First one. He's killing and chilling.
Josh. Jack
Good.
Frost.
That is Jack Frost.
Now, I hate to be a stick in the mud, but I am looking at the cover for Jack Frost because I always have IMDb up on the movies that we're talking about. And it says Jack Frost, he's chilling and killing.
All right.
Wait, what did you say?
Jared said he's
I
killing
misspoke.
and chilling.
Oh.
You're
I
reading
wouldn't have
it.
got it. I
and you
wouldn't have
didn't
got
get
it
the-
if you read it correctly. I would have known.
Well, no, I didn't.
Wait, did you just admit to cheating?
I'm not cheating. I'm
He
trying
did.
to be responsible podcast
did.
host.
Oh, for fuck's sake. All right, the next one is this Christmas, you better believe in Santa or he'll slay you.
Aaron,
All right.
Silent Night.
It is not Silent Night.
Oh,
We're only
Josh, you
doing
could-
movies we watched, right?
no. He's 5 we have and 5 we haven't.
Oh, okay.
But you've seen the ones we haven't.
Okay. Or I'll slay you.
This
I would
Christmas,
say
you better believe in Santa or he'll slay you.
that one's got to be it's one of the ones we watched. What's the stupid name of that shit with cousin Larry Appleton that dresses as Santa?
Oh, I know it.
Uh
If that's the correct answer,
oh, hang on. Let me flip through my notes. I'll find it.
it has Christmas in the title.
Maybe I didn't write the name down.
Who's your favorite evil sorceress in He-Man?
I
I'll-
don't know the name of the
I'll
movie.
give you a half point.
Okay.
Christmas Evil.
Yeah, Chris is evil. That's not the actual name of the movie, though.
What?
I meant to bring that up. Did you guys notice that?
Yeah,
In credits
yeah.
of Christmas Evil, the title of the movie is a different fucking thing.
Yeah, they changed it at some point.
It's Better Watch Out.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I did
Or
not
something
know
like,
that.
no, Better Watch Out's another movie, but it is something like that.
Huh. Did not know that. Next one. Slay, girls. Slay, period. Girls, period.
Aaron,
Yes, sir.
Black Xmas.
Which year? 74,
He
06?
specified
or-
Black Xmas.
Is that
Yeah,
2006?
I think so.
Yes.
That is incorrect.
Oh,
Josh,
Yes.
I think it's got to be a Black Christmas. And I'm going to say it's the original.
Incorrect.
no, it's whatever year
It's
the other one, the third one was like
2019.
2016 or 19.
Oh.
Okay.
The emoji.
Slay, girls.
I guess that makes sense because that's the one where they turn it's like the whole reversal thing.
Yeah.
I don't need you dragging my name in the mud like I've seen that movie.
I've seen it. It's
I-
bad.
Look, it's on the shelf behind me, and I'm not proud of it.
All right, here's the next one. Cute, clever, mischievous, intelligent, dangerous.
Aaron, that's got to be Gremlins.
It is Gremlins. You're on the board. 1 to
Thank
1
you,
and a
Dan
half.
Haggerty.
Next one. If this picture doesn't make your skin crawl, it's on too tight.
Oh, wow.
It's the weirdest tagline for a Christmas movie.
That is a weird one.
Or really any horror movie, I guess, unless it's like a Cronenberg movie. If this picture doesn't make your skin crawl, it's on too tight.
That's a weird.
Is
Josh,
Go ahead.
Rare Exports.
Nope.
No. Shoot.
It's
I mean, I would say Death Becomes Her, but it's not a Christmas movie.
mm-mm.
Aaron, Jingle All
Mhm.
the Way.
Black Christmas 1974.
You know, I thought that for a
That's
second,
the dumbest tagline for that
but I
movie.
thought certainly they'd come up with something better for
Oh, yeah. Was that not about the bag?
I think so. Maybe.
Well, that wouldn't be your skin.
I know. It makes no sense. You'll scream till dawn.
that. Josh,
Yes, sir.
Running out the
Elves.
Nope, not elves.
clock. Aaron, Rare Exports.
It's To All a Good Night.
Ah,
4 left. 2 you've seen,
that
2 you
doesn't make
haven't.
sense.
Did we?
with the
Oh,
movie.
yeah, I did watch To All a Good Night, and I fell asleep.
This Christmas, everyone will believe in Santa Claus.
Aaron,
Go ahead.
Rare Exports.
It is Rare Exports.
I made that joke to put oil on the track.
Fucking asshole.
This holiday season, the sleigh ride begins. Sleigh.
Hmm. Sleigh ride begins.
Mm-hmm.
Josh,
Mm-hmm.
red one. I don't know.
The sleigh begins. Aaron
Yes.
Krampus?
It is Black Christmas 2006.
Oh wow, Black Xmas.
Black Xmas.
Which you
I
just
like that.
watched.
Yeah, I watched it last night. It's good. All right, last two. This one, they're not working for Santa, ... anymore.
Josh,
Aaron!
Oh, Josh got it under the buzzer.
elves.
It is elves. You
They're
have
working
2.5.
for the Nazis.
It's 2.5 to 2 with one more.
Now,
He's back.
I thought about this. I'm sorry to interrupt
Nope.
and go and break up the speed of the game here, but elves should have had the SS in the title, like for elves. Like that would have been the only reason to have elves and put the SS, like whatever that's called, like that font that they used.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it could have just been called Elf Fucker.
Yeah.
Elves should have had a lot of things. Like maybe more than one elf if it's going to call itself elves.
Right.
Man, the cover for the poster for elves is so cool. When I was
Yeah.
looking at it to get this tagline, man, what a promise not kept by that poster. Final toe tagline. He's back and he brought some friends.
Aaron.
Josh.
I heard Aaron.
Krampus.
It's not Krampus.
Josh.
Uh-huh.
Gremlins 2, a new batch.
It's Elves 2018, which you also watched. So I'd assault that wound again.
I hate.
God, I can't believe you had to put up with that.
I was really going to watch it, and I still might just to run out the last bit of Christmas joy I have.
I beg you not to watch it.
If you want to live, don't watch it.
Speaking of not wanting to live, let's talk about Jack Frost for a fourth time.
Oh no.
I finished watching it today, and I was waiting around to start the record, and I was curious of what Jack Frost 2 could possibly be, so I watched about 30 minutes of Jack Frost 2 before we got on here.
Not just the trailer?
No.
So you got to see them go to the faux Caribbean, which also looks like Snowminton.
They're in the Caribbean for Jack Frost 2. I was really wanted to see what he looked like, if it was the same snowman. It is. Same.
But is it the same actor?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
still beloved actor. Scott McDonald.
Yeah. And same movie, pretty much. Just sucks. The sheriff and the sheriff's wife are in it, but not the son.
Thank God. There's a bright spot.
Yeah, they took notes.
I made special.
I made special.
Extra special.
Yeah. How about it?
I watched it first today for the podcast.
Uh-huh.
And I had a better time today with Jack Frost than I did to All a Goodnight.
Oh, Wolf. You're just being salty.
You're a madman.
You just got the post-Christmas joy hangover.
This is not a happy, scary story for Shannon Elizabeth's family, I'll tell you that much.
No.
And did you guys have any pecan pie yesterday?
No, I had pumpkin pie.
I'm not a fan of pecan pie.
Because I did wonder if you did, how many bites of it did you have to take before you remembered that Jack Frost put people in the pecan pie?
Yeah, I always forget
From
that
old
little...
Mrs. Puddle. Mrs. Puddle's pie.
They don't really mention that again. In fact, it probably wasn't even part of the lore until they went in and did that post-production intro.
They obviously, I mean, I thought maybe in the half an hour of Jack Frost 2, the Jackening that you watched, that he maybe would have gone right up to an oven in that one and made a people pecan pie.
No, there's actually from what I saw, very little Jack Frost in the movie. the first 30 minutes.
Could only
Oh my-
rent that snowman for
Yeah.
a day on set.
Can you really tell the difference of a filtered or non-filtered cigarette by the way it smells?
I don't know. Probably
No,
not.
I
Jack
don't
Frost
think I've
can.
Well, his snowman senses are sharpened.
Well, that was before
The
the changing.
I was gonna say carrots add more to your olfactory senses if your nose is a carrot.
Well, that's
Okay,
the other
so
thing too. He doesn't need that shit. That's not part of him. That's just a disguise.
What do you
Yeah.
wait? What?
Because the kid puts the carrot on him. He's already a full-fledged
Yeah.
snowman.
Yeah.
But then the kid who has to pull out a hand puppet of a snowman to figure out what a snowman looks like to place 2 rocks and a carrot on Jack Frost's face.
Yeah. Wouldn't you just? I mean, he can be water. He can be.
Yeah, he doesn't need the
He
carrot.
doesn't need any of
He
it.
doesn't
Wouldn't
It
it
really
just
doesn't
be-
need to be a snowman.
No.
He
Towards
can
the
just be-
towards the end, he is just the couple clumps of snow
Yeah.
without the eyes or anything.
but he
or the
could
coal.
technically just be like the thing from the abyss, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he could just be a water worm.
Yeah. It would probably be way more strategically sound for him to just do that if he wanted to
But they didn't
keep
have the
killing
money
people.
for it.
But I guess you really, people wouldn't know it was Jack Frost if he was a water thing.
Mm,
I mean, I
And
would
he
be
has
more.
to be in character after writing all those letters.
Yeah,
yeah.
it is more scary to be killed by a snowman than a worm of water.
But not
And-
that snowman.
No,
Maybe,
why?
but not that
Why does he get
particular
superhuman strength
snowman.
in
Yeah.
the form of a snowman? It took me 4 weeks, but today, with clear heart and mind, I said, "Why can he just throw that axe down Shannon Elizabeth's dad's throat? Why can't he just randomly break old man Hopper or whatever the guy's name was neck with his bare icy snowy mitts? Like when you think of a snowman, it's not like he's getting the super soldier serum. Like he's just been bonded with water.
Well, to be fair, even pre-Snowman, he somehow managed to overpower and strangle a prison guard with his foot when he's completely handcuffed and shackled, and get the guard's cigarette into his mouth in the back of that van. So,
Yeah.
I think that's just Scott McDonald's strength, honestly.
I mean, maybe he was an X-File, and that's why Agent Manners was on this case.
Agent Manners. I noticed in the scene where the bully's dad, Shannon Elizabeth's dad, is sitting on the stump.
Billy's
Yeah.
dad, yeah.
Yeah, and he tries to get the axe out. Did you notice the fake snow alert that this cotton snow gets stuck on his foot and he's like kicking it around
No.
like in Christmas Evil.
I love how
He
you're
falls
just looking for those moments now.
I did notice it randomly draped on one of the windows above it, like to the
Yeah.
top left of the screen. And I was like, God, that's so janky looking.
I feel like they maybe had 2 yards of fake snow that they just took from set to set and placed
yeah.
it wherever they could.
So, do you think during that scene, if TP and Max would have come along, do you think TP could have pulled that axe out of the stump?
No. TP
the
and
two of them
TJ
together, maybe.
TJ from the last movie and TP definitely were cut from the same cloth.
Yeah, they were boys. They would have gotten along at that camp for gifted kids. They would have gotten along there. They would have exchanged numbers.
I
in
had
the big
the
city.
subtitles on today so that Jack Meltzer, who we just talked about tripping up on fake snow, he does say Christ loathing dog.
Loathing. Christ
loathing dog.
He says
dog.
Christ
Well, that
loathing.
makes about
No
as much
sense.
as a Jack Frost one-liner.
Christ loathing dog.
for yellow snow.
He had a line in Jack Frost 2 where there's a girl skinny dipping in the resort pool and he comes in and puts his little stupid oven mitt hand in the pool to freeze it over to kill her, and he says something about like, "Ooh, I've always wanted to do a breaststroke."
Oh
And I thought,
God.
oh, yep, it's even. They've learned no lessons in the
No.
3 years since.
They're tripling down, double
Yeah.
down.
Yep. So
So the so you had the subtitles on.
Yeah.
Did you catch all the whisperings behind the door?
Yeah.
When-
It
okay.
says goat. It says goat noise.
Yeah, there is a goat bang.
There is a goat noise.
going
There
on
is,
in that
oh, it's
house?
my husband. I think that is Donna's hotel. We don't
It's a
see a
lodge.
sign
It's
that
a
says.
lodge.
Okay.
Because
So-
that's I think so anyway. So at the beginning, when the police chief gets out of his car and there's all the snowmen in front of the big red building,
Yeah.
there's a sign hanging off of it that says lodge. And so I can only assume that that's like the bed and breakfast kind of thing that I was arguing about last movie, that's where the hotel
AKA buck pad.
is. AKA Katie's fuck pad or whatever he thought it was.
That sign is the real sign for that building.
Yeah.
If you go, it says Fawn Lodge, I believe. Yeah, I'm looking
Yeah,
at the
Lodge.
photo right now. And if you go on to Google Maps and do Street View, that sign is still there, and it looks as shitty as run down because apparently it's been closed since the 60s.
It's we should go there.
It looks like it
No.
smells.
Let's take a vacation.
To Snowminton.
We'll do a live recording from there.
All right.
Should we take
Yes.
a quick break and come
Yeah.
back and
Yes.
give our...
I have a totals. I have something to
Oh,
share
hell
with
yeah.
the class when we get back.
I
All
love
right.
sharing with the class. All right, we'll be back shortly.
Holy moly, right? Kill Billy!
It wasn't me.
All right, Mr. AJ, please share with the class.
All right. So, a good harbinger for you out there in podcast land to know whether or not you're in a shitty movie viewing experience is, and there are exceptions, usually like a monster movie like The Thing or Alien, to this rule, is to take a moment and realize that you're in a movie viewing experience in which there are no background actors. Two of these movies today are prime examples of this. Now, I didn't do a tally to All a Goodnight, but I can almost put that at 0 from what I can recall. So I went through in today's viewing and did a person-to-person with facial recognition with a plus or minus margin of error of 3, we'll say, to count how many background actors that don't have one single line in Jack Frost there are. To let you know that you are in for a shitty movie experience. Because throughout the entire film, in which there are multiple scenes of multiple, hey, the town's all here, your total, what do you guys think the total is? You've
gotta
seen the
be-
movie after 4 weeks. You know who has lines and who doesn't.
It's got to be 10.
It's
I was going to go 12.
it's actually higher than that, but
Oh,
I
wow.
thought the same thing. That's why I started doing it, because like just to give you some examples, and you really lose it is in the background scene where Scott McDonald is screaming at the camera like "I'm going to get you."
Mm-hmm.
There's
Which
8
time?
people in the beginning. There's 8 people. Okay, so that blows. That's the most
What-
extras there are.
When he's being hauled off with his pudding cup.
Yes.
He's in his pudding cup phase.
Yes, he's in the pudding cup phase until you get to the one scene where there is the town meeting where they must have served pizza or something and you had 23 people. But like if we're establishing shots that you think
That's a
of,
Jaws level town meeting, by the way.
Yeah. You know what? I bet they had a bean supper.
there might have been some kind of covered dish going on.
Yeah.
Because like
Beans and red snapper.
Yeah.
like the snowman building scene out front. Now you've got the whole Paul, Jill, Billy, everybody from that family that dies.
Yeah.
They're all there. Mind you, they don't count because they have a speaking part.
Yeah.
There are only 4 people outside the downtown corner of Snowminton. 4 people. That's it. And the bustling burg of Snowminton. So how many people are in Davros? That one guy carrying out the bulb. That's the only time you see someone in his store. The cleanup after Billy's decapitated. You'd think the whole neighborhood would show up. There's only 3 people with non-speaking parts that show up.
That cleanup, by the way, I love how they throw like 1/2 shovel of snow onto the blood and then just like step on it once and walk away.
Yeah. And that's also where there's a special appearance by the one deputy that you never see again.
Yeah. And then,
loading the body into the ambulance.
But the other thing about that scene too is at the very end, it doesn't show you who, but who the fuck picks up the snowman's head and puts it back on the body like that's important?
I think that was the sheriff.
No, because he's standing with his wife and son and the owner of the haberdashery.
Could it have possibly been the Reverend?
It might have been the Reverend. The Reverend thought
running,
it was very important to put the snowman's head back on the body.
We're running out of people. Anyway, all that being said, I came up plus or minus 3 people.
It could have been an Orange Hat.
Oh, it could have been. 52 people that I counted.
Wow. That's way more than I thought.
Yeah.
That's more
40.
people than I can remember being in the movie.
Yeah, for real.
Because at the last burial scene where they are putting the bottles of antifreeze into the shallow grave, that's all like Marla's there, the deputy that lives, I think it was Joe, the priest, the medical examiner, the sheriff, obviously his wife. That's it. There's no extras except for Weird Guy. That, as we've discussed, is filling up the antifreeze, which I do think I'm coming around and said, no one's really paying attention to that guy filling up the antifreeze in his FJ40. Maybe he really was trying to get Jack Frost out of there with no one.
Orange Hat?
Yeah.
But you would think someone would have looked over
cultist.
and said, why are you putting that? That is the immortal snowman.
Orange Hat. Sorry, go ahead, Josh.
No. You go ahead.
Orange Hat is the first person you see in Jack Frost 2. He popped in the first scene, and it was like seeing a fucking celebrity cameo. It's like, holy shit, it's Orange Hat, and he's wearing the orange hat.
I was gonna say, I think your theory of the town being filled with Jack Frost cultists has been blown apart. But I will concede that yes, maybe Orange Hat is like a Jack Frost helper.
Could be.
He's like an accomplice that's just laying below the scenes.
He could have been working at Mrs. Puddle's pies.
Yeah. He's kind of like the Igor if Jack Frost was Dracula.
Yeah. The Renfield.
Or not Igor, Renfield. Yes.
Renfield.
Yeah.
Oh, woo, whiskey.
Did we discuss the Arliss episode?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, not in detail.
All right. Well, I can do it in detail because I fast forwarded through it. Because we were like, all right, that was Shannon Elizabeth's first role.
Did you do this today?
No, this was last week, and I just never got to it.
Hey, honey, it's Christmas. What do you want to do? Let's watch Arliss.
Let's watch Arliss to see if Shannon Elizabeth gets her tits out for HBO. Listeners, I can tell you she does not.
Oh,
wow.
Now,
I don't think she does.
I will tell you
American
what.
Pie, right?
Oh, she's
Yes.
full frontal nude in American Pie.
that's what
Right.
catapulted her to stardom.
Yeah.
Yes. Now in season 1, episode 6, entitled "Crossing the Line," Shannon Elizabeth does keep her clothes on, but she straddles Robert. How do you pronounce that? Wall?
Mhm.
Robert Wall?
Wool.
The guy from Batman that you know from 1989. While they're on a tennis court during a date in which, again, I fast forwarded, so I wasn't really listening or paying attention to any lines of dialogue, in which she is eating a bunch of junk food. So I guess her dad is real controlling because she is a we'll say Russian. Who knows what she was supposed to be? Tennis star. I think she was like the 186th ranked tennis star in the world at the time. She licks marshmallow fluff off Robert Wall's bare chest on a tennis court at night.
How hairy was that bare chest?
Rough stuff.
Ew. Marshmallow fluff off of his hair.
Yep.
Ew.
Yep. Now, again, this is from last week.
Sounds awesome.
Did it clump in there? And
This is from last week, so obviously I didn't go back and review it this week.
We'll be watching some Arliss after we record.
So that's why I said it is season 1, episode 6 of the HBO show Arliss.
And when does that come out?
Was it 94?
That sounds like some Duchovny level Californication scene.
Yeah, I was
there.
going to say that episode was definitely written by Robert Wall. I want this beautiful woman twice half my age to lick marshmallow off my fucking
Because I think that's where we were.
gross chest hair.
The whole conjecture on that was maybe that was her first nude scene, which is why she was comfortable doing it for fucking Jack Frost. Because I do think because we've told that whole story about how this movie was made and then sat on a shelf.
Yeah.
I think it's all 94.
Yeah, she doesn't.
96 for Arliss. So no, she got nude for the shitty Jack Frost movie, sat on the shelf, and then was like, I don't want to show my boobs here in Arliss.
You won't get both boobies and me licking Robert Wall's chest. She's like, you gotta choose.
Yeah, I can have one or the other. And Robert Wall said, give me the marshmallow cream, baby. What? But she doesn't
He
show.
said,
She
give me
doesn't
some
actually.
s'more.
Oh God. she doesn't actually show her breasts. And
In
No.
Jack,
Jack
Frost, you
No,
get
you get side boob and you get like the side of her naked body.
yeah, a little bit.
You don't
of
even
butt.
get like a butt shot really. It's just a
Yeah.
side view.
Yeah, so
She's getting
now.
bear hugged
I
and
just
pounded into the
realized.
side of the wall.
I just realized I brought up Max now while we're on the air.
Oh,
If I'm on record as saying season 1, episode 6 from that must have been production, but airing now on Max, they are saying season 1, episode 7. So regardless, the title is crossing the line.
can AI get anything right?
No.
Nope.
I will
The
not be
world-
crossing that line.
When you
world
said
I promise you that.
since I brought up Max, I thought we were going to talk about Max from Mad
I
Men. And I got
know.
real excited.
All right, she's pouring the marshmallow muff down his chest and his stomach all the way through his belly button, and she is now licking it off his chest. Oh God.
God, I hope she got paid well.
While enjoying also a
Good
Slurpee
God.
so that the brand
Right.
is showing right at the camera and looks like a pack of Lay's potato chips.
Listen, I said it when we first discussed Shannon Elizabeth and Jack Frost. I'm glad that she has her money and her career, and I just feel so bad for the woman at how it started. But I guess hey, if she's at where she's at now, she did some things right.
I don't think we ever mentioned this in our talks, but I love the part where the scientist guy, when Jack Frost gets inside of him and he comes out of the building and his
Oh,
neck
just-
is all
Yeah, we've talked about how he just is like, fuck it.
yeah, that's big fun. That's like
That
actual
probably is
good-
the one moment of enjoyment I have in that movie.
It's the one like effective effect Like,
Yeah.
and it actually is funny and it looks good and it's
Well,
yeah.
until all the spray snow vomits out of his mouth.
Oh, I love that. It's
And
so
it's like,
funny.
okay,
It's
now we're
just
back to
shaving
Jack
cream.
Frost.
It's Robert Wool marshmallow fluff.
It's Robert Wall chest hair.
Waste
uh,
not, what not.
other than that, I don't have any new notes on this one.
No.
I don't want to talk about Jack Frost. And I have to keep talking about Jack Frost.
I was going to say, you guys are ready to give to All a Good Night an Oscar, so sounds like
Let's wrap it up, and then we'll go around and give our summations, and then we'll 1, 2, 3 it.
okay.
I'll go ahead and start. I did enjoy To All a Good Night. I didn't think it was a good movie by any measure. It's not. It was entertaining, and it's my shit, man. I love slashers. It was a early 1980s. I love being able to see that a franchise, my favorite horror movie franchise, actually took some stuff, plot lines that were in this movie, and I think it was what I thought Christmas Evil was going to be, and that made me happy that we actually in this exercise got like a fun slasher Christmas movie out of this. Jack Frost is Jack Frost, and it's not good. Didn't enjoy it. Never have, never will. That's it. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, again, I agree completely with what Jared said. I don't think To All a Good Night is a good horror movie by any means, but it does really scratch the itch of what I love in a slasher movie or any kind of horror story, whereas you get a big group of characters together. They all have these very different, eccentric personalities. And then, crazy shit starts happening and you just kind of watch and have fun with how it plays out. And for the low $75,000 budget that they had, I think they did more right than wrong in it. And you can look back on it now through a lens and enjoy a cheesy 80s horror movie. Are we talking about Jack Frost too? Because Jack Frost is still a piece of shit and I fucking hate it.
That's all you needed to say.
Counterpoint. If you want to see Santa Claus from the 70s murder people, you need to go to friend of the podcast and Oscar winner Freddie Francis's Tales from the Crypt from 1972, in which all through the house shows a maniacal Santa Claus out murdering people. This movie was also from the 70s and featured that. And it did everything terrible. Don't listen to these two. You will waste an hour and 28 minutes. You will watch a movie that will make you pine for Madman and think, gee, Madman was Oscar worthy in comparison to this. And then there's Jack Frost, which after watching this is how damning a review of To All a Good Night is. Jack Frost was a breath of fresh air.
Wow. Fair enough.
Wow.
All right. So 1, 2, 3, we'll say who eats the buckle.
Or was
and
it
I'll-
a breath of aerosol spray as you try to fumble for your keys?
Why the fuck can't he pick up those keys? It's crazy how he
It takes-
cannot bend over and pick up those keys.
I think if this goes and it looks like it's going to another week, we're going to have to do some stopwatches.
Yeah. With a little timestamp on how
Yep.
long it takes to.
Wait, so I have a question about your side note before we say who. Well, okay, let's decide, and then I got a question.
Okay.
All right. 1, 2, 3, who eats the buckle? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
To All a
Jack
Good
Jack
Night.
Frost.
Mm.
All right, we all gotta watch Jack Frost a 5th time, and that means if it loses next week, you know what that means, fellas.
Live watch.
means
Yep.
we get inducted in the shit locker.
Hey, wait, before we talk about which movie is up against it, um, so Freddie Francis directed an original segment of Tales from
He
the Crypt.
directed the whole film, Tales from
Oh.
the Crypt,
Okay.
from '72. That's the
Okay.
first. That's the first Killer Santa.
Oh, yeah, and it was later redone by Robert Zemeckis, and
Mhm.
when they
For the
they
TV
were out
show,
of
yeah.
the TV show. Okay.
I've never seen the movie. I love the I almost said Twilight Zone, the Tales from the Crypt segment of it. So good.
The
I might,
Zemeckis segment.
yeah,
Yeah,
might watch
yeah.
that Freddie Francis joint tonight.
I'm sure it's out there.
It's out there. It's not that great.
Well,
I remember being a real slog.
I got
Who
nothing
plays the
better to
Crypt
do.
Keeper in that? He's not even like a demon. It's just an old man.
Ralph Richardson,
Yes.
Sir Ralph Richardson, I
If
believe.
you want to see Sir Ralph Richardson with a robe over his head, acting like he's about to fall asleep, then watch the 1970s Tales from the Crypt.
Yep. Dr. Zhivago to Tales from the Crypt.
All right, so next week we will have Jack Frost versus Red Christmas in our final show ho down.
What
Ho,
year?
ho,
What year
ho.
is Red Christmas? So we don't have that bugaboo about the wrong movie, because again, that's so generic that it seems like there may be one or two.
It's
Red Christmas sounds like it's like Red Dawn, but it takes place on Christmas.
It's
Yeah.
from 2016, and it's got E.T., the mom from E.T., Dee Wallace in it.
Okay. I'm always up for a D. Wallace joint.
I bet she'll be really good in it. She's always good.
I bet she's in it for 15 seconds. And the rest of the movie is going to make me real pissed off.
He's already looking it up. He's already fast forwarding through the entire movie.
Oh no! I told my wife.
Are you
about,
watching that Arliss scene again?
No. Told my wife about Jared fast forwarding through or doing the multiple speed up viewing, and she's like, that goes against what the whole spirit of the podcast is. And I was like, tell me about it. Tell me about it.
Hey man,
he shrugs. He shrugs.
I mean, to be fair, at 1.5, it only cuts like what, 20 minutes off the movie?
I do 1.25.
1.25. So you're watching like it's 10 minutes. You chop off.
I've only done it in times when I've had to like rush to watch it because I got done with work and had to record at 6.
Hey, brother, I understand.
I don't have to explain myself. What is this? Goddamn Nuremberg?
Mr. Smallridge, you claim that you've watched these movies, but is it true you've seen them at 1.25 speed?
Next time we record, Aaron's going to have
it's to kill a mockingbird
in his beard.
I think next time we record, we should all just have marshmallow fluff on our chest.
Shirtless.
Shirtless.
Our first video.
There's our New Year's podcast.
Our first video release.
I can't wait to get my hair bottle bleached blonde to be Dan Haggerty.
I can't not wait
in
until
2025
of Aaron Haggerty.
You got to get over this Haggerty thing because it's going to bring you down on all your judgments of these movies. There's no reason you shouldn't have had fun with To All a Good Night.
When I was watching Scrooged, I said, you know what? Who would have been great in this movie?
He's not good.
Dan Haggerty.
He's terrible in that movie. I don't understand this.
Gremlins as Dory could have been Dan Haggerty.
What if Dan Haggerty was the handyman in To All a Good Night? Would you have loved it?
Yeah. Because it would have been a bright shining star in a sea of shit.
I thought for sure that was going to be your Haggerty replacement level Haggerty.
First of all, there is only one, and he's left this plane of existence.
He's not good.
Well, personally, I think before we head out for the episode, I do think Ralph needs inducted into the Eat the Buckle Valhalla,
Yeah.
along
love
with
Ralph.
Max.
He's up
Ralph
there.
and-
He's up there in Suge Valhalla for sure.
Yeah, I don't think we stated enough how great he was as a character, walking around with his weird red rocket and his shears.
If Zuckerberg hadn't closed down your social media arm, you could have posted that photo.
I'll post it on our check us out at Blue Sky.
Yeah.
BucklePod at Blue Sky, and email us at bucklepod@gmail.com. And we'll be back next week with Red Christmas.
We don't
versus-
even know already.
I almost said Red One. We'll be back with Red Rocket next week.
Yes.
All right.
Save some room. 'cause you're gonna
2008's
eat
Red
the buckle.
Rocket.
All right, Buckle Buddies. Till next
Bye.
time.
Bye bye.
Let's you and me take a little midnight stroll.